Alright guys, here we go today. Let's make this a quick lesson. Alright, today we're talking about the rules of exponents. And we have two properties that we have to talk about. These are the power properties. The product power property and the quotient power property. The first one is to multiply powers. So to multiply powers with the same base, all you have to do is add their exponents. Couple keys here. Let me switch to a pen here. When it says we're multiplying here, but they must have the same base. That's important. And then we're adding their exponents. And I'll show you why that happens. But it's important that you have to have the same base, and then you're going to add their exponents. To divide powers with the same base, again, same base, you're just going to subtract the denominator from the numerator. Okay, so you're going to end up subtracting instead of adding. So that's what our properties are. So let's use our properties. Scroll up here. Okay, example 1. Using the product of powers property. Okay, the product of powers property, which says if you're multiplying two numbers with the same base, add their exponents. So, short, this is just x to the 15th power. And that's what you get. Okay? If I write this out, we get x times x times x times x times x times x. There's my 6 x's, and then I'm going to add the 9 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my 15 x's, so I'd get x to the 15th power. Okay? For example B, when I have numbers in front, I have 3x times 5x to the 5th power. I'm going to just multiply the 3 times the 5. 3 times the 5 is 15. The x's, now remember, x by itself stands for x to the 1st power. So I'm just going to add that. 1 plus 5 is 6, so I'm going to get 15x to the 6th power. Again, I could write that out, but I'm not going to this time. But that's what your answer would be, 15x to the 6th power. Okay? I'm going to move on to the next slide. In the next slide, we're just going to be talking about the quotient of powers property. So this time when we divide, you're going to subtract. And for A, I just need to leave it as an exponent. We're not going to worry about right now finding the exact answer with a calculator. That'd be pretty simple to do. But for these guys, what I'm going to do is I would just subtract. So that would be 7 to the 6th power divided by 7 squared is just 6 minus 2. So that's 7 to the 4th power. That's your final answer. Again, if I were to write this out, I would have my 6 7s on top. I would have my 2 7s on the bottom. I would cross off or simplify. That leaves my 4 7s in the numerator, so that's 7 to the 4th power. Now, if I wanted to multiply that out, I could, but we're not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about getting it into exponent form. For B, I have to simplify the 2 and the 10. The 4 and the 10, which most of you might be able to do. But again, if you wanted to write it out in prime factorization, you could. So that would be 2 times 2, and that would be 2 times 5. The 2's cross off, so I'm left with 2/5. Okay? And then for the exponents, I'm just going to subtract them. Now, if I do write them out, you can see it's just the same thing that we did when we were working on them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And those look like x's crossed off. My 2's look like my x's crossed off. And then we're just simplifying the problem is basically what we're doing. And we're left with 6 x's on top. So you don't really have to show any work. I'm just making this easier for you. But there are new properties. That's how it happens, but your final answer is just going to be 2/5 and then x to the 6th power on top. So that's your final answer. And now you should be able to do these much quicker because you don't have to write them out and simplify them. You can just subtract the exponents. Okay? They have to have the same base. I couldn't do that with the 4 and the 10, but the x's have that base of x. Okay? All right, I'm going to go to my next slide. In my next slide, I'm going to use both properties. So the first thing I want to do is multiply. That's the first thing I want to do. So I'm first going to multiply these first. So multiply first. Okay? And when I multiply that, that's going to give me 3 times the 1 is 3. M to the 5th times M to the 2nd is M to the 7th. Over 6M to the 3rd. Now I am just going to simplify these. 3, 6, well, 3 turns into a 1, the 6 turns into a 2, that turns into 1/2, and then I do 7 minus 3 is 4. So I'm going to end up with my final answer of m to the 4th over 2. I have no m's left on the bottom because 7 minus 3 is 4, so that ended up on top. So that would be my final answer. Okay, that is all I have for tonight. Quick video tonight. If you need to go back and rewind. I know I talked pretty quick through here, but you can go back and check, and we'll work on these tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys later.